Okay, so you see a question like this, and it looks pretty intimidating, right? But what if I told you there's a secret roadmap to getting every single mark? Well, there is. It's the official mark scheme. So in this explainer, we're not just going to solve this problem, we're going to crack it open, mark by mark, so you know exactly how to nail these questions every time.
All right, here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll decode the question itself. Then we'll hit step 1, finding that common denominator. Step 2 is all about creating a single fraction. And finally, step 3 will simplify it all down. And the whole time, we'll be looking at where you pick up those precious marks. Okay, first things first. Let's figure out what on earth this question is actually asking us to do.
So here it is, question 17. And yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful with 3 different algebraic fractions all jumbled together. But you know what the most important 2 words on this slide are? Show that. That's a huge clue. The examiner is literally giving you the final answer. It's going to look something like k over y. So our job isn't to find a mystery answer, it's to show the step-by-step proof that we know how to get there.
All right, let's move on. Section 2, step 1, the common denominator. You know the drill with fractions, right? You can't add or subtract them unless they're all speaking the same language. And that means finding a common denominator.
So let's have a look at what we're working with. We've got 2xy, 2y, and 5xy. To find the lowest common denominator, we'll look at the pieces. For the numbers, you've got a 2 and a 5. The lowest common multiple there is 10. Easy. Then for the letters, we need an x and we need a y to cover all our bases. Put it all together and bam, our target denominator is 10xy.
Okay, now for the conversion part. We need to get every single one of these fractions over 10xy. So for the first one, how do we get from 2xy to 10xy? We multiply by 5, right? So we do that to the top and the bottom. For the middle one, to get from 2y to 10xy, we need to multiply by 5x. And for the last one, to get from 5xy to 10xy, we just need to multiply by 2. And just like that, all 3 of our fractions are ready to play together.
And this is where things get really interesting. Check this out. The mark scheme says you get the first method mark, an M1, just for using a common denominator on 2 correct fractions. You don't even have to get all 3 right to get on the scoreboard. How good is that? It's like a built-in safety net.
Okay, we've done the hard part of finding a common language. Now, for section 3, it's time to bring them all together into one single fraction. So all we do is take all those new numerators and stick them together on top of our common denominator, 10xy. It looks like this. Now, I want you to be super careful with that minus sign in front of the 5x. It's so easy to mess that up. That's a classic tripwire they put in these questions. Next up, we've got to get rid of those brackets. It's just a bit of careful multiplication. So 5 times 6x minus y gives us 30x minus 5y. That middle term, the minus 5x, just stays as it is for now. And then 2 times 2y minus 7x gives us plus 4y minus 14x. Pooh! Okay, now we've got this big long line of terms that we can start to tidy up.
Now here's a pro tip for not making a silly mistake. Before you start adding and subtracting, group your like terms together. Get all your x's in a little huddle and all your y's in another. It just makes life so much easier and shows the examiner you know exactly what you're doing.
And now for the moment of truth. Let's combine these terms. Following the exact path the mark scheme lays out, it all boils down to a super neat 20x. And what's really cool here is that the y terms have completely vanished. They've canceled each other out, which is a massive clue that we're on the right track.
And there it is. That whole process, getting it into one fraction with the correct numerator, that earns you the second method mark. That's another M1 locked in. You're 2/3 of the way there.
We are so close now, the home stretch. Section 4 is all about that final, satisfying simplification. So after all that work, this is what we're left with, 20x over 10xy. I mean, just look at that. We went from that big, messy expression to this nice, simple fraction. All that's left is to cancel things down. This is the easy bit. Let's see what can go. We've got an x on the top and an x on the bottom, so they cancel out. Gone. Then we've got the numbers, 20 divided by 10. Well, that's just 2, isn't it? And what does that leave us with? Just a 2 on the top and a y on the bottom. Our final answer is 2 over y. And if you remember, the question asked us to show it simplifies to k over y. Well, we did it. Our value for k is 2.
Job done.
And getting that final, clean answer by showing all your simplification, that lands you the third and final mark. It's a C1 mark, which is all about communication and accuracy. You've proven you can do the maths and show your work clearly all the way to the end.
All right, let's wrap this up and look at the whole journey from start to finish. Section 5, your 3-mark solution.
So here's the recipe for 3 marks. First, you find that common denominator, and just getting 2 fractions right bags you an M1. Then, you combine everything into one single fraction. Do that correctly, and that's your second M1. And finally, you simplify it down to the final answer, and that's your C1. See? Every step has a purpose, and every step earns you a mark.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's that these big, scary questions are really just a checklist in disguise. If you know what the examiner is looking for at each stage, you can tick off the marks as you go. So now that you've seen the whole process, what do you think? Which step is the biggest trap? Where are most people likely to slip up? Is it finding the common denominator? Maybe messing up the negative signs when expanding? Or a simple mistake in the final cancellation? Have a think about it.